In this video, I want to have a look at what's called the line of best fit. So the line of best fit is the line that best approximates the linear relationship that's between our two variables. So in this example here, we've got all our different data points, and we've got this line drawn through that's approximating the linear relationship. So that's what we're going to learn how to draw, and we're going to do it in a couple of different ways. The one that we're going to look at in this video is we're going to do it by eye, so by looking at the data and approximating where it goes. So to draw a line of best fit, there's two things that we want to do. We want to have roughly the same number of points above the line as we do below the line, and we want to approximate the slope of the line. So we don't just want to split it in half, as this point says, and have our line coming up here somewhere, because that's not approximating that linear relationship, the slope of that relationship. All right, so let's have a look at an example. So over here we've got, Alright, so we've got some people who've measured the length of their right foot and the height of their belly button off the floor, and these are all our data points over here. So you can see, you've got to have a look at it and see sort of the slope that it's going on. It's increasing sort of up this direction. So that's the general slope that we want our line to be on. We don't want it coming up here, we don't want it going straight across, we want it going roughly on this angle. The best thing you can use to do this is a transparent ruler, so you can actually see the points underneath it. Alright, so we're going to pop that on. We know roughly what slope we want it on, which is something about that, and we want to cut those data points in half. So we're going to we're always going to do this in pencil as well, so that if we muck it up, we can rub it out and try again. So I'm going to put mine about there, pull it away, and you can see whether we've done it right. So if you want to check, just roughly count up the number of dots above and below. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 13 above and about 13 below as well. So that looks pretty perfect. The slope's looking right, and we've split it about in half. There are a few things that we need to have a think about when we're looking at scatter plots and lines of best fit, and these come straight from the considerations in your syllabus. So the first one is that if there are any outliers in our scatter plot, we need to have a look at them really carefully, but we don't just dismiss them, we don't ignore them unless there's a really strong reason to believe that they shouldn't be there. So if we're certain that the measurement's been taken wrong. So if we had a person with a height of say 3 centimetres, we're sure that that's wrong and we can dismiss it. But other than that, leave them in there. The other thing is when we make predictions with a line of best fit, and we'll look at doing that in a few questions' time, it's always going to be more accurate if the correlation is really strong and if we've got a really large number of data points. So if you've only got 10 data points with a pretty weak correlation, it's pretty hard to make predictions off that. But if you've got, say, 1,000 points and a really strong correlation, your predictions are going to be more accurate. The next one is that we shouldn't use our line of best fit to make predictions outside of our data range. So in the one that we just had a minute ago, the heights of our belly buttons range from about 78 to about 115 or so. So we wouldn't use this line of best fit to predict anything about somebody with a belly button height of 130 or 60 or anything outside our data range, because it's not going to be accurate. And the last one that's in there is it says you shouldn't use a line of best fit to make predictions about a population that's different from the one from which the sample was taken. So that means if all our data points were collected about, say, females, then we can't use that to make predictions about anything to do with males. All right, so that's a few things about drawing a line of best fit by eye and a few things that you need to think about.